third grade. So today we are going to have a long discussion about your next project, okay? This project is going to be an at-home project. So you will do this at home, like you did your book report. It is also something that will take you a while, so do not wait to start this project, okay? All right, if you want to, please look at your packet as we go over all of the important information that you need. First thing I want for you to do is write your name on your packet. Write your name on your packet. Now, I'm not going to spend the time reading the first paragraph to you. Let's start with paragraph 2. As I go over this, I want you to listen only. At the end, we will have some time for questions. But right now, you are simply listening. Paragraph 2 on the front page says, your child has been assigned a My Community project, which is to build his or her own community. Attached to this letter is the project requirement sheet that specifically outlines what your child's community must contain or portray. Your child must think about the different aspects of a community which are needed in order to make it work. And then I've got some examples for you. It says road systems, traffic signs and lights, different service occupations, places of business, etc. Once your child has brainstormed all of the important places and things she or he must include in his or her community, your child must carefully plan the layout of the community and then make it come to life by building a model.
This is going to be hard.
Okay, next page. 2 pages back, sorry. Okay, it says My Community Evaluation Sheet. Okay, this sheet, actually, this is not stapled correctly. I'd like for you to switch over to this page. Okay, this page. It has like a fire truck and a train on the bottom. Okay. All right. So let's look at this page. It says at the very tippy top, due to limited space, the base for your project should be approximately 2 foot by 2 foot. I did not want you to bring in this giant board, nor do I want you to bring in this tiny project. The size of a poster board is a great size. You can get a foam board like this one and use it for your base. Your base needs to be sturdy because you are going to be putting items on it. You can't use a poster board that is flimsy, okay? So you can use things like cardboard. You could use things like foam board. You could use like an old box and cut part of it. You could use a thin piece of wood. But especially this year, because your parents cannot come into the building, you have to be able to hold it. So in the past, parents have been able to bring the projects in. This year, you have to bring the project in. So bring a project in which you can hold, okay? All right, now, it says My Community Requirement Sheet. Read along with me right underneath the fire truck. It says plan, create, and build a community. Be sure to name your master community. Your child must build a well-designed community which has all the aspects in which you feel are important to the success of your community. Your community should be on a sturdy base like a piece of plywood, thick cardboard, foam, poster board, etc. Your community must include or portray the following: Now we have a list of things you need to include. I included this list because you must include them. I included the list because you must include them. Okay? So when you are building your community, what do you think would be a good thing to look at when you're deciding what you should put in it? Maddie?
This.
The list. You should absolutely be looking at this paper when you create your community. Okay? All right. So the first thing it says is that your name of your community must be present on your model. So you first have to decide on a name for your community, and then somewhere you must display it on your model. How many of you have driven to different places like different states and you'll see the sign that says, "Welcome to Texas"? Or you'll see the sign that says, "Welcome to Arkansas," whatever. So you could have a sign that says, "Welcome to Basketballville," okay? "Welcome to DJ Village," okay?
DJ Bill.
Another place we see a lot of times the names of certain community is on a water tower, okay? So I've seen lots of water towers that say Frisco, or I've seen a lot of water towers that say McKinney, okay? So you could have a water tower that says Shreeville, okay? Or that says Maddytown, or whatever you have decided to name your community. The next thing that you must have, look at the second bullet. It says you must have a road system. Roads are extremely important in a community. It must have a well-organized road system complete with traffic signs and lights. Could you imagine driving around Frisco with no stop signs? No. Could you imagine driving around Frisco with only one street? No. So would your community only have one street? No. Would your community have 0 stop signs or stoplights? No. So you must create your community with a road system. That does not mean one road. That does not mean 0 stop signs or 0 stop lights, because you would not see something like that in our actual community of Frisco or McKinney or Allen or Plano or wherever you live. Okay, look at the third bullet. It says service industries. If you don't know what a service industry is, let's read about it. It says you must include service industries, not just industry, not just one, but industries such as police stations, fire stations, post office, schools, hospitals. Okay, those are just examples. There are a lot of other examples, but those types of things are what we call service. Okay, they provide a service. I don't go to the hospital and, well, I guess you could if you went to the gift shop. But I don't go to a hospital and leave with a bag of clothing or something that I just bought, right? That's a service. I don't go to the police station and leave with brand new shoes, right? Okay, that's a service. You're not leaving with a good, all right? So there are a ton of different services, but you need to include several of them on your project. There's no way for you to include all of them, but think of the things that are important to you and your life. Some of you, a library is super duper important. You might want to include a library. A police station is super important. We need to have someone who enforces the law, even if we don't like it. Otherwise, it would be very chaotic in our community. You are holding all your questions until the end, okay? All right, the next one says places of businesses. You need to have office buildings, shopping malls, gas stations, restaurants, okay? Things where you would go to purchase something. Smith, Shreya, scoot back a little bit so that the people behind you can see. Okay, so if your favorite store is Target, maybe you want to include Target. Liam, scoot back, please. If your favorite store is Foot Locker, maybe you want to include Foot Locker. If you like Barnes & Noble, if you like Walmart, okay, you would want to include those types of things. A store, Tom Thumb, Kroger, a place to buy your groceries. Hands down until the very end. The next one says places of residence, houses, apartments, hotels, okay? Places where people live. Then it says your model must include a number of people working, playing, traveling, or etc. So not one person, but several people doing different things. Then it says means of transportation, automobiles, buses, trains, airports. All of those things are important in a community. I do not want to just see a car or several cars. There are a lot of different types of transportation in the community. We've got school buses, okay? We've got a plane. We've got a boat in some communities, okay? Then it says the next one, creativity and attention to detail. Be creative when planning your community. You need to have neatness, originality, and pay close attention to detail. It must also be turned in on time. We'll talk about the due date in a moment. Then it says you must turn in a 10 to 12 sentence description of your community. It can be handwritten or typed. I do not want sentence 1, da-da-da-da-da, sentence 2, da-da-da-da-da. Write a paragraph, okay? Write a paragraph with 10 to 12 sentences. My community is Miss Dohertyville. In my community, you will see people playing at the dog park. You will also see people living in the houses that are located on the southeast side of my town. In Dohertyville, we have a lovely park in which you can whatever. Okay? Liam, sit up, please. Okay, so you are going to be writing a paper along with your community. So your project is 2 parts, the community and the description that goes with it. Okay? Look at the next page. The next page is your due date. Liam and Vedant. Okay, the due date is on February 18th. You have almost exactly a month to complete this assignment, okay? So, do you think that you should wait until like February 15th to start getting your supplies and brainstorming? No. This needs to go home tonight. You need to start thinking tonight. You need to start planning this weekend. You need to start purchasing or building or creating soon. Do not wait. Okay, look at the next page. It says My Community Evaluation Sheet. This is how Ms. Mullins or myself will actually grade. Now, we're not going to give you a grade, but this is how we are going to check your work. So I'm actually giving you a copy of the exact page I'm going to use. So what do you think would be a smart idea to make sure that you have all of the parts that need to be included? Maddie, what should you do?
Look at the list.
Look at this. Go down the list and see if we have a yes or a no.
No.
And if we have a no, we need to change it.
Write this.
Okay? So here are the things I'm checking for. Is the name of your community on your model somewhere? Yes or no? Did you turn in the 10 to 12 sentence description of your community? Yes or no? Does it have a well-organized road systems with traffic signs and lights? Yes or no? Are there a number of service industries, not just one, but several of them, which are vital in creating a successful place to live? Police station, fire station, hospital, library, schools. The next one says, does the community portray a variety of places of business? Target, Tom Thumb, Kroger, The Gap, Children's Place, Old Navy, Five Below, the dollar store, okay? A gas station. Then it says, do you have a number of people working, playing, traveling? Okay? You cannot just have one group of people doing one thing. When it says variety, it means you need to have several. Notice this person is fishing. This person is walking. Okay? This person is ready to go in whatever this building is here. Okay?
Police station.
All right. Then it says the community has a variety of different modes of transportation, not just a car. You have different types of transportation. Then the last one says, or second to the last one says, did you use imagination?
No.
Did you work hard?
No.
And did you turn it in on the due date?
No.
Okay. Liam, can you please stop? Thank you.
Probably gonna be.
Okay, so let's look at this model that I have an example of for you. This was done by a student several years ago, and I'm going to let you get a very up close and personal look at it. But right now, we're just going to talk about it. Sit down, please. Thank you. Okay, so this town is called Mad Gear Pro City. When you are deciding on your town, I want you to choose something that interests you. If you love to play football, maybe you want to have a town revolving around football. Maybe all of your streets could be named different football teams. Maybe the name of your community could be Football World or NFL, whatever, okay? Whatever it may be. Think of something that interests you, okay? On our Mad Gear Pro City, we have a church right here. We have 7-Eleven. We have a Walmart. We have a police station and a fire station. We have a bank, city hall, a hospital, a school, a drive-through burger joint. We have houses, okay? We've got trees. We've got a lake. We've got a skateboard ramp because the person who created this project loves to skateboard, so he created a skateboard ramp. We've got a fountain here made of clay. We've got a bus down here in front of the school and a soccer field with 2 people playing soccer, okay? We have a fisherman here fishing with ducks in the pond. Okay, so as you can tell, this did not take this student a day to create. He took a little bit at a time and worked hard. He also did not just take things that he purchased from Hobby Lobby and glue them on. Anybody can do that. Anybody can get a box from Hobby Lobby, put a label on it, and stick it on. He did not do that. Even if he bought the box, he painted it. Okay? He added detail. His homes are wooden blocks. He used paint and rulers to just draw bricks. He used foil to create the windows. He used a box to create the roof. We've got smoke coming out of the chimney. His cars, like I said, are made of clay. His duck is made of clay. His people have been store-bought, but he painted all of them. So if you choose to purchase something like your people, which you can, I am not saying you can't purchase things. I'm saying if you purchase things, you need to add your own personal touch. He purchased the box, but he painted it. He purchased the people, but he painted them. You need to balance the things that you purchase with things you create. So maybe he purchased his people, but he created his cars made out of clay. Okay? Maybe he purchased his people, but he made all of his stoplights and stop signs out of straws.
Yes.
Okay? I want you to find things around your home that you can reuse. Okay? Some things are just boxes and straws. These are trees or parts of trees from his home, from his neighborhood, from his front door. Okay? You do not have to go out and spend a bunch of money. I would prefer you don't do that. I would prefer you use your own creativity.
Can we buy anything?
Can you buy anything? I've already answered that question, sure. But if you purchase it, what must you do?
Add something of yours.
Add something personal of yours. Maybe if you buy people, because people are probably the hardest thing to create, maybe you add some hair. Get some yarn and hot glue some hair on. Okay? Somehow, if you purchase it, you must add your own personal touch.
Well, you know,
Okay? Now, you will need help with this project, okay? Because likely you will have to use a hot glue gun. Your parents will need to help you with a hot glue gun, but this is not your parents' project. So, I do not want you to go and tell your parents, hey mom, guess what? You have a community project to do. Hey dad, we need to do that community project, okay? You need to have help, but you should be the person doing the most of the work, okay? Now some of them, people needed to use a saw or like a hot glue gun. Okay, those kinds of things you're going to need help with, okay? But this is not your parents' project, so you are the one that needs to be responsible for creating the majority of it. Okay? All right. Now, I will take a couple of questions and then I'm going to let you come up here and look at this project because this project is awesome. Okay? So you can look at it for an example and to get your mind going. But do I want you to include all of, like, I don't want you to recreate this project. I want you to create your own project. Okay? All right. Well, what questions, Wes? Do you have a question or did I answer it?
You didn't answer it. So remember when you were talking about that you don't leave the police station with a brand new pair of shoes? What if the police officer just gives you a brand new snazzy pair of shoes?
Well, lucky you, but you didn't purchase them. Okay.
But those are some snazzy kids.
All right. What other questions do you have that I need to answer? Liam?
Do you really have to do this?
Yes, you really do. Put your mask on, please.